The last couple nights I've been sleeping on the floor, and by golly, it's been the best decision I've made recently. Because when you're on the floor, you basically have only your skeleton to thank you for upholding you with the earth, right? And the earth is supporting you through your skeleton. And your muscles get to relax a little bit more than usual. And it's been really nice, kind of uncomfortable at first, but honestly, I slept really well and I've had very, very interesting dreams as of late. And in one of them, I am learning how to be a better form of Spider Man because all of these alligators were coming after me on the golf course and I didn't really have anything to swing to. And so then there were these robot dinosaurs that came up and were trying to help the alligators to attack me. And I was able to jump in and weave in and out and try to just jump through everything. And then all of a sudden there was a singer, a really famous singer, that told me that it's not about fighting the animals, it's about playing with them. Remember that. And so then I started to play with the alligators and I started to play with the robot dinosaurs. And man, oh man, things started to get a little bit better. And it reminds me of just where we're at in this time because a dark dystopian future is upon us, whether we like it or not. And society is freaking cooked. I mean, don't get me wrong, it is cooked, but I still have hope. I still have hope. I don't really believe that there's going to be a lot of hope for many people as far as their own individual sense of hope. But I think that if you truly believe in Christ and you truly follow Christ, you have nothing to fear. You really don't, except for fear himself, which is God. And fearing God in itself, because the only thing that I truly fear at the end of the day is God. And I don't think that you can live life in fear. I think there's something that you can be concerned with and things that you can be concerning yourself with. But ultimately, man, I mean, the times that we're in are just some of the blessed times I've ever seen. We have so much potential. We have so much knowledge at our fingertips all the time. But it seems like the implications of the superfluousness that has been ricocheting throughout the society has left us to a point to where we're on our own. We are on our own. And I don't know about you guys, but it's not that I'm not sick of the fight or I'm gonna give up the fight or anything for truth or anything like that, but it's just I've reached a point to where everybody's trying to rev people up for change of some kind, right? And this is one of the reasons why I named my account Regal Change and my business Regal Change, because it takes a regal change to really follow Christ. And it was the regal change that was me following Christ and everything that I had to do with it. It was that in of itself that really inspired me to just be who I am and to realize that the material world, yes, it's real, but it's not what's lasting. It's not what's going to last. And we see the AI verification system coming out. We see the mark of the beast coming out, rolling slowly and but surely. We see, Germany. You can't even criticize people in Germany or the UK anymore. Otherwise, you're going to get thrown in jail. And even on X or Facebook or whatever, I mean, you can't say anything. Thought crime is even starting to pop up. And thought crime is 1984 in a nutshell. But, I think that all in all, the world that we live in it's just toast, man. It's just toast. But that's okay. Like, it's not a bad I don't see this as like a bad thing. Everybody's like, oh, we have to We have to fight. We have to fight what exactly? Like, who are we fighting? Do you know who we're fighting? Because to me, that's all just shadow powers. Uh, None of it seems right. I just call BS on the whole thing. I see a simulation and a simulator. The simulation is where the matrix is, and then the simulator is where you are with Christ and the Creator Himself. So, I mean, what do you want to do? Like, what else is there to do at this point? Do you have anything else better to do than to be the best version of yourself and to strive to make the world a better place anyway? Or at least your part of the world? You know, that's really the main thing here. Is all we can do at this point is just make our corner of the world a little less crappy than anything. And do you remember in Lion King? Uh, it was the newer one. It wasn't the cartoon version. I actually liked the cartoon version better. But it was the newer one, and then they're like talking about Hakuna Matata and the circle of life, and Pumbaa basically says, the warthog, he's like, well, if everything's connected and it's a circle, then that means everything that I do affects him and affects him and affects him and affects. Well, I don't want to do that. I don't want to believe in that. Ha ha ha. And then they just go and eat their grub. Yeah, but that's what's actually happening. You know, that's everything that you do, everything that we do is going to affect everybody else in some way, shape, or form. And that's what's so cool about having a YouTube channel and an X account and you know, just to be on the front lines of the social media warfare, basically. But then, you know, going behind the scenes and having that godly community, working with people one-on-one in mentorship sessions and all that, it's like you kind of get a glimpse at the collective unconscious in a very particular way that is very, I don't see a lot of people able to have that kind of experience. And, you know, I think that the lessons that we're learning, especially over the next few years as a species, well, hopefully we learn the lessons. You know, hopefully we see the lessons. And I do believe that we will, but it seems like the older generations, you know, the boomers, I think even millennials are even kind of considered older generations now, even though they're not really old, but it's everything's so novel all the time that even being like 25 years old is considered old now for so many people, which it's just not. It's just not old. And you still got a whole life ahead of you, man. Like you're not even a quarter, like you might be a quarter of the way done with your life, but that's it. Like you maybe a little over, maybe a third of the way done, who knows. But the point is like you still got a lot of life ahead of you. And there's still time to fix things, right? Like in Led Zeppelin's Stairway to Heaven, he says at one point, the lyrics go, there's always two paths you can go by, but in the long run, there's still time to change the road you're on. Yes, that's exactly right. There's still time to change the road you're on. If you're hearing this message, there's still time to change the road you're on. And even though there's a dark dystopia headed for us, you know, the AI verification stuff is here, the collapse is here. It's weird to watch society collapse in real time while simultaneously seeing some of the most innovating things happen at once. You know what I mean? You see what I'm saying? Because we just live in so cool of a time. But it's like the issue is that there's so many people that are not going to be able to see the awesomeness. I mean, there's so many people that have just lost their entire sense of playfulness. And I've talked about how I've been doing like dance parties and such with myself over the past week because that's been a way for me to ground myself and really just connect with my own sense of confidence. Because when I'm able to just dance by myself, when I'm able to be my goofy self, when I'm by myself and just be who I am. I guess I'm not really too goofy, but I have the capacity to be so, I suppose. And I can just dance. There's a sense of confidence that comes with that, and there's a sense of at easeness. And especially sleeping on the ground, like I was talking about earlier, even for the last hour before this, I don't know why, but I had this sudden feeling of exhaustion just like pour itself upon me because it's been a long week. It's been a very long week. And I had this sense of exhaustion just rush over me. And so I just sat in silent darkness for a while and breathed and just paid attention to my breath and just let myself. I mean, even right now, you can feel it, the sensations of just letting your body sit in space and just feeling the breath, your diaphragm open and close, feeling the temperature of the air in the room, maybe subtle sounds you'll hear outside or whatnot. But notice like you don't really get to choose what is happening, you just get to choose what you're noticing. And that's a very powerful meditation technique that you can do on your own time. But, just doing that for like an hour really grounds you, really puts you at ease because the world as we know it is just, yeah, it's done. But I see that there's going to be goodness that comes out of it. I just don't know what that's going to look like. And I think it's going to get worse before it gets better. And I'm not saying this again to be a doomer because a lot of y'all are doomer maxing. It's crazy how you can be so positive. Like people say, oh, we need more positivity. We need more positivity. And then when you put out positive stuff, there's a natural decline in the amount of views or whatever people have. And it's just like, you guys don't even realize what you're talking about. And I don't take it personally at all, but because I know what humans are like. But you guys have to realize that you're lying to yourselves. Okay, you don't want the world to be a better place. You want the world to be shit. Okay, that's what you want. And you have to transcend that internally. Okay, internally, that's something that you're going to have to transcend. It's just the way that it is. And it's not like you're a bad person for this. It's just like that's the human imperative. It's just the human desire. Naturally, you get more of a, well, because think about this, right? Like why do negative experiences or negative titles and all that, like why, or stories, I mean, oh, that's another whole big freaking can of worms that's come out today as far as I know. The shooter, it wasn't a 30-06. It wasn't a 30-06. You guys, they're going to keep going with this story about Charlie Kirk forever. I mean, nobody knows what's actually going to happen. All we can do is speculate. I say screw it. Like, don't even bother trying to understand the truth anymore of what happened because it's just a whole conglomerate of crap, really. That's all. I mean, if you want my honest opinion about that, that's my opinion about it. The whole system, the whole simulation, it's part of the simulation. I don't exactly know if he's still alive and whatnot, but it doesn't matter anymore. Like, it just doesn't. And I don't mean that to be like insulting or anything. It's just, has the world stopped? Have you gone back to normal in your life? Groceries are still up, gas prices are still up. That's another thing I was curious about. I thought gas prices were going to go down, but instead they've gone up. What happened? What happened? Oh yeah, that's right. I don't know if it's the tariffs that are the cause of that, because I don't think because obviously the tariffs are, it's on other countries, but maybe, I don't know, there's something going on. I haven't done the research yet, but I thought that the gas prices were supposed to go down over the past few months, but apparently they haven't. They've gone up where I'm at least by like 40 cents. And it's just crazy to see this kind of stuff, you know. It's crazy to see people online talking about, like, have you seen those TikToks where people are, and I'm not on TikTok, I've seen people have these TikToks that they're like reacting to on YouTube. And the TikToks apparently are, these people have like a whole bunch of groceries, and it's like $300 $400 for their family for 1 week. For 1 week of groceries, $300 $400. That's insane. I don't, I mean, where I'm at, you could probably get away with groceries for your family for like, and you'll still feed them pretty decently. You might be able to do $200 a week if you have like a family of five. You know, if you have a family of five, that's like how many dollars per day is that for a family of five? $200 a week. Somebody can do the math. I'm guessing that's like roughly $5 to $10 a day per person on average, something like that. Maybe it's a little less, maybe it's a little more. But yeah, I mean, like, oh, wait a second. No. Okay, I just did the math. That's like $8 a day per person for a family of five. $8 a day, that's all right. You know, it can be kind of close. You can cut it kind of close, but I think it's doable. You know, and that's, you know, granted if you're not going out or anything. But I haven't eaten out for 15 months, 16 months. I haven't eaten out anywhere. And I've been thinking about going back to the coffee shop that I used to go to. But you know, I can make my own coffee at home. You know, I can make my own coffee here. And I think the only reason that I would go out to the coffee shops or anything like that would be to just meet people. That would be the only thing to do at this point. Would be, if I were to go out right now, it'd just be to meet people. And honestly, I don't want to sound like a jackass, but I really don't care to meet people right now, which is ironic because that's exactly what God is wanting me to do. God has been wanting me to do a lot of things that I don't want to do recently. It's he's like, nope, you're going to be obedient here, you're going to be obedient there, and I'm like, okay, like, I'm not going to resist this. I'm not going to resist it, but that doesn't mean I have to like it. And that's exactly what I'm doing. You know, I don't like a lot of the things that God is making me do or wanting me to do, but he owns me. You're either owned by the devil or you're owned by God. And I know a lot of people might say, well, I'm this or I'm that, and I believe in, like, I'm the creator. You're the creator? Oh man, vanity, man, lots of vanity. And thank God, you know, thank God that I am in the state that I'm in, where, and I don't mean state as in like the state of Utah in the United States. I mean state as in just my being. Like, I know what it takes to have a healthy relationship. I know what it takes to be well with others. I know what it takes to have social skills. I know how to have, like, I know skills. I have skills. I know what I need to do with my life, and I have a purpose, and thank God for that. And I also know that I have a destiny, and I think that that's what a lot of people are missing. You know, a lot of people feel like they're missing destiny, and they're missing a sense of destiny. They're missing a sense of moving forward for something. And I think that's one of the reasons why people don't know how to handle this dark dystopian nightmare that's coming. All I can do is warn people. And honestly, I don't know. Maybe it would be good for people to actually have the dystopia. Maybe it would be good to go even further than we already are, because it'll mean that the true godly people, they will have a light that shines even brighter. Of course, I would love everybody to see that there's this paradise, or this kind of paradise here on earth, rather. Because if you ever heard that song, I don't know if it's by Richie Havens, but Richie Havens has a song that he plays called Paradise, and he's like, I'm not trying to be no prophet. I'm not trying to change your mind. All I'm saying that the searching's a waste of time. That's it. Like, all this, trying to do all these things. I have to self-improve here to get to there. I have to do this to get to that. I have to, no, I can't do this because, well, because I don't think that that's stop thinking, man. Stop thinking so freaking much. You're making me hurt with all the thinking. Like, my mind, the more I just allow myself to be more than to think, the more zest I have in my life. And the more I allow myself to be than to think, and I just act on my intuitions, not my impulses, but my intuition. And my intuition, every time I've listened against it, like I've like, oh, nope, nope, nope. I've got to listen to this logical voice inside my head. I have to, compared to my intuition. Now, there's nothing wrong with being logical, okay? There's nothing wrong with that at all. But whenever I've listened to my logic instead of my intuition, when my intuition's telling me something, it's never ended good. And especially in relationships with people. Usually now, it's like I can tell where this is going to go within the first 5 minutes of a conversation. And maybe it might take like a month or so if they can, if they are who they are. But if we start to get into real things, I think that's one of the reasons why people aren't real. Is once things get real, you kind of have to show your cards. And a lot of people don't want to show their cards in life. They don't want to show them because then that means that you're real. That means that what you believe is real, or you have to stand on something. But I would rather stand on something like following Christ and be rejected by the world than ever be rejected by God himself. I think with that, we're going to end the video for this day. I hope everybody stays blessed. We are starting the Whispers of a Philosopher King. Well, technically tomorrow. I'm filming this on Thursday night, but it'll be coming out Friday morning, my time. And then we're starting the Philosopher King class on Saturday morning in the RCA. So I'm really stoked for that. And we're going to be reading the Apology just for a couple weeks. Nothing crazy. It'll be this week and next week. And then I've got some more events lined up. Those are going to be for free. So keep those events open. Your eyes open for the events, rather. And I'll be posting more information about that in the upcoming days. But there was something else I wanted to say really quick. I just really appreciate everybody that's actually been supportive over my whole account and my whole basically career here with what I'm doing with Regal Change. I really appreciate everybody that's reached out and has had good things to say, and also I'm very grateful for my initiates that I have. I don't like to call them clients, not anymore. So I call them initiates because they're people before they're clients. I don't think about, I don't know, with this line of work, it feels weird calling people clients. So I prefer just the term initiates. And so I want to give a shout out to all the initiates out there, all the members of the RCA. These kinds of conversations with quality people, with godly people that actually want to better themselves, that know that we're not perfect, but we can strive to continuing to better ourselves each and every day. Those are the kinds of people that I know that I want to be around. And I'm just very grateful for people like that in this world, because it's a dark world, man. It's a dark world. And there are days kind of like today, where I just want nothing to do with the world. Not because I hate the world, it's just I need to be by myself for a minute. I need to chill. And then there are other times where I just love humanity so much and I wish we could all sing, kumbaya and all that crap. But man, it's uh it's nice. It's nice to know that there are people out there that actually want to see the world be better, but are also prepared for the worst. And I think that's the best way that we can maneuver in these times. So, with all that being said, peace until next time.